Welcome back, everybody. This is the Conservative Outlaw. You are here for the no-nonsense right-side news that you want to hear. They don't want us to see it, and they don't want us to have the information, so people like me are out here bringing it to you in the masses. Make sure you give a like, a subscribe, share with your friends. It helps me out, helps the channel out, helps us get you more information. Let's get into the action.
Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer is facing growing calls to step down as the leader of the party after his disastrous handling of the government shutdown. California Democrat Ro Khanna, for one, questioning who can lead the party into the future. Watch this.
What is the future of Democratic leadership? Who is going to be effective? And most Democrats around the country just don't think that person is Chuck Schumer. I mean, he doesn't inspire confidence. He's not bold. He's out of touch with the grassroots. He's someone who led us into the war in Iraq. He doesn't have the moral clarity on Gaza. He couldn't say Mamdani's name. And this was the final straw, where he was not strong on fighting for health care. You know what the Democrats need to do? We need to be more independent and truth-telling in this country and bold and not rest on niceties.
Joining me now is Democrat consultant and former House Judiciary Committee Chief Counsel, Julian Epstein. Julian, it's great to see you. Thank you so much for weighing in on this. And I know you know this is an ongoing conversation, but what do you make of Ro Khanna coming out there pretty staunchly against Schumer?
Well, I think what he was offering was a bunch of platitudes about where the party should go without a lot of specifics. And I think the dilemma that this shows for the moderates in the party is that the progressives have never been the moderates' friends. It's the old JFK line: if you try to ride the back of a tiger, you'll end up in its belly. The problem with the Democratic Party, and that's the problem for the moderates, the problem with the Democratic Party is not the age issue of Chuck Schumer. It is the fact that the Democratic Party is far to the left on almost every single issue of the median voter. And moderates have become very meek. They've become timid inside the party. And that is why they have allowed the party to drift far to the left. And Mamdani might be fine in New York. Socialism may sell amongst the downwardly mobile podcast class, but it's toxic in the rest of the country.
Yeah, it's toxic for most people, and most people in America are sort of hanging out in the middle. You might lean to the left on certain things, you lean to the right on other things. But, I mean, how did this happen? That the extremists hijacked the party? I mean, even Bill Maher, the comedian, criticizing the Democrat Party on his HBO show this week, he's warning about the potential negative impact of embracing socialism. Watch this.
Socialism, to put it simply, just doesn't work and has never worked. We've run this experiment many times, and the results are always obvious. Here's capitalist South Korea at night from space. Here's socialist North Korea. Yeah. Meanwhile, Venezuela traded capitalism for Hugo Chavez's socialism for the 21st century. It turned one of Latin America's richest countries into one of its poorest. Low wages, high inflation, shortages, outages, 8 million people fleeing. If you think New York can somehow reinvent this wheel, you're in for a rude awakening.
So, Julian, how did this happen? And good word, awakening.
Yes, and socialism's batting about 0 for 1,000, and most voters in this country want an economy that's growing rather than big government welfare handouts. The way it happened, to answer your question, Maria, is that the progressives organized a lot better than the centrists did. For example, in the 1990s, they organized the Worker Families Party. They organized new political parties to pull the Democrats further to the left. If the centrists and the moderates want to compete, and centrists and moderates make up more than half of the electorate, if they want to compete, they've got to form their own party, in my view, Maria. They should form a centrist party that would caucus with the Democrats in some instances and run third-party candidates when the party goes too far to the left. And that would be a model. It's sort of a model that the Democrats, the centrists, could steal from the socialists, and I think it's a plan that could work. Right now, the centrists have become so timid, so weak, so scared of the flying monkeys, the enforcers of the socialist left, that they are being swallowed up. And again, as I say, 43% of voters are independent. A sizable number of voters in addition to that, the centrist Democrats and swing voters, would make up well over 50% of the electorate. It's just that the centrists don't have the spine to really stand up to the left, form their own organization, develop a set of ideas that could compel voters to vote for them, and that's why they're getting swallowed up by a progressive left that is ultimately a very bad brand for the Democratic Party.
Well, I also think, because I think that the extremists the progressives are the loudest ones in the room. And they intimidate, they bully. And that bullying has led the moderates to think, oh, God, I'm going to get primaried.
100%, and that is a phenomenon of the social age, in social media age. In social media, they discovered in 2012, the thing that keeps eyeballs on sites like Facebook is anger. And what the extremes have figured out in the Democratic Party is if you can just say the other side is a villain, if you can just say that Republicans are bad people, if you can call them Nazis, it's the kind of thing that develops anger. It keeps people on social media. It gets eyeballs. It raises money. It makes you celebrities within your own sort of progressive bubble on social media. And that's where the energy goes. It's a social media-driven phenomena. But ultimately, when it comes to Election Day, it's a bad recipe for Democrats because most voters are where they've always been, regardless of social media, which is they're in the political center. 70% of voters are either moderate or conservative in this country. So going to the socialist left, which represents about 6 to 10% of voters, is, again, great if you want to get elected in New York. But if you want to take that show on the road around the country, you're going to get squashed. That's what happened in 2024. And I think if the Democrats don't change, it's exactly what's going to happen again in 2028.
You know, I didn't realize that. You're saying 70% of the electorate is either moderate or conservative? 70%.
Yes.
That is a big number.
And it has been that way. It has been that way for years. It's been that way for decades. And the problem for the Democrats now is that Donald Trump is occupying the political center on most issues. If you did a Venn diagram, Maria, of where Bill Clinton was, very popular Bill Clinton, who had 70% approval ratings in the 1990s, and where Donald Trump is today, there is a remarkable overlap. In many cases, in fact, Bill Clinton would be to the right of where Donald Trump is. If you just look at, say, the balanced budget, if you look at trade issues, Bill Clinton is to the right of where Donald Trump is on trade issues with the tariffs. If you look at welfare reform, Bill Clinton wanted 30 hours a week as a requirement for able-bodied welfare recipients. Donald Trump is at 20 hours a week. Bill Clinton wanted to end affirmative action. You could go down the list. You go down immigration, closed borders. The Democrats were a party of centrism under the Bill Clinton administration in the 1990s. Donald Trump has pretty much occupied that political center right now, leaving the Democrats to go to what? The big welfare state, the cultural revolution that's based on identity, aligning with terrorist ethno-nationalist groups like Hamas. And Hamas's rhetoric. If you think that's a show that the Democrats can take on the road nationally, then you're smoking something. I just don't think this is going to work. There is excitement about the Mandami election. It's a delusion, in my opinion. It's not something that can sell nationally.
Well, we are ready to watch it unfold when he takes office, January 1. Julian, it's great to see you. We hope to see you soon.
Maria.
Thank you so much. Great conversation. Julian Epstein. All right.